long-haul spacecraft, houses, prisons, or ecosystems. In the classic tradition of science fiction, the spaceship is designed as a functional artifact, a device for exploration, a vector for interstellar travel, a technological extension of the human will to expand. It is often depicted as an optimized, regulated space, where each component adheres to a logic of efficiency. Yet, for several decades, a conceptual shift has been taking place. The ship is no longer just a tool, but a living space, even a lived space. It becomes humanized, subjectivized, sometimes to the point of drifting. It becomes a home, a madhouse of space. This semantic shift from the vessel to the home is not merely a product of imagination. It reflects a paradigm shift in contemporary science fiction, where interstellar travel is less of an odyssey and more of a closed-door drama. The vessel is no longer what connects two worlds. It is a world unto itself, a place of social, psychological, and even metaphysical experimentation. It crystallizes the tensions of humanity in confinement. Take, for example, the novel Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. De Noël edition. The narrative draws a parallel between two evolutionary trajectories. One involves a fallen humanity adrift on a generation ship, and that of a species of spider made intelligent by accident on a terraformed planet. The spaceship, designed to accommodate the last survivors of a world in ruins, gradually becomes the stage for social and cultural degeneration. The passengers, subjected to repetition and cyclical maintenance, lose sight of their initial purpose. Among them, a woman isolated in a peripheral module of the ship, almost forgotten, exemplifies this existential drift. Her daily life is punctuated by inner dialogues and the anticipation of an event that never comes. She alone embodies the radical solitude of the human satellite detached from its center. Opposite, the spiders build a thriving civilization. It is not so much a tale of colonization as a reflection on civilizational stagnation and the illusion of linear progress. The ship here is merely an illusion of the future. With the sealed tomb Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, the tone changes, but the essence remains. A vessel can be a mental prison as much as a physical one. The novel follows Gideon, a young, sarcastic swordswoman forced to collaborate with an elite necromancer, Harrowalk Nonagesimus, in a deadly competition organized by an emperor who is himself immortal. An ambivalent relationship oscillating between rivalry, forced loyalty, and mutual fascination develops between the two women until it takes the shape of a restrained passion. The closed setting unfolds in a structure of hybrid nature between vessel, tomb, cathedral, and prison, where teams from different great houses must solve puzzles to achieve the status of lictor, that is, immortality in the service of the necromancer emperor. The Baroque aesthetic, with catacombs, ceremonial halls, religious and decadent decor, becomes the backdrop for a funerary reef, in which the vessel, a true flying mausoleum, serves as a metaphor for immobility, the sanctification of knowledge, but also for the theatricality of social relations in a confined space. Aurora, by Kim Stanley Robinson, Bragelonne edition, pushes ecological logic to its extreme. The plot follows a multi-generational mission aboard an interstellar ship en route to an exoplanet meant to host human life. The story is partly narrated by the ship's artificial intelligence, which observes, analyzes, and eventually develops a rudimentary form of subjectivity and intellectual autonomy. As the mission progresses, the passengers face the failure of terraforming, the deterioration of internal ecosystems, and increasing moral dilemmas. The ship becomes a fragile ecosystem whose maintenance relies on the constant anticipation of problems. It is no longer a ship. It is a collective organism whose survival depends on the continuous attention of its inhabitants. Exploration ultimately becomes secondary. The technique and ethics of management become intertwined, Critics highlight that the book's greatest achievement is its questioning of the stability of closed systems and the fragility of any artificial biosphere. The Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon, published by Les Forges de Vulcain, intensifies this introspection by introducing a socio-political reading of the spaceship. The novel follows Aster, a young queer and mixed-race woman living in the lower levels, the lower decks, of the spaceship Matilda, a generational arc governed by a racist, religious, and patriarchal elite. As she investigates the mysterious death of her mother, Aster uncovers systemic injustices and the erased memory of an oppressed people. Far from a technological utopia, the spaceship becomes the stage for a racialized, gendered, hierarchical system of oppression. Spatiality itself carries segregation. The top, the bottom, the restricted access areas, each compartment is the material expression of power. The vessel is a space plantation, a physical and symbolic prison where social dynamics are heightened. In a more symbolic register, the comic ascender, from Urban Comics, offers a vision of the organic, living, almost mystical vessel. Set in a post-technological universe where magic has supplanted science, this series tells the story of a young girl named Mila and her father as they escape across a galaxy ruled by a tyrannical being known as the Mother. The vessels are made of plant matter, endowed with a form of emotional reactivity and their own sensitivity. Far from the mechanistic paradigm, these crafts live, feel, and interact. They are partners, even totems. The ship turns into a relational being, an emotional extension in a sci-fi world filled with wonder and fairy tale elements. Cinema also offers interesting interpretations of the concept of a vessel as a mediator between humanity and physics, as seen in Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, where the Endurance spacecraft is at the heart of a mission to a habitable exoplanet, traversing a wormhole. This spacecraft is a space of isolation subjected to major relativistic effects, notably the gravitational time dilation predicted by Einstein's general relativity. As it approaches a massive black hole, time flows more slowly for the crew members compared to those who remain on Earth, a phenomenon that creates temporal isolation and a form of emotional exile. This time shift induces an irreparable separation between the crew and their loved ones, accentuating the psychological exhaustion, solitude, and the trip's duration. The interior of the Endurance is thus not merely a physical transit space, but a complex mental space, a place of introspection, of managing grief, and the gradual loss of spatial temporal bearings. In Danny Boyle's Sunshine, the Icarus II is the vessel of a desperate mission: to reignite the declining solar activity by projecting a nuclear charge into the heart of the sun. This catastrophic premise immediately places the vessel at the center of a planetary survival issue. But beyond the mission, the Icarus II becomes a space of fusion between extreme light and the human psyche. The thermal stress is compounded by a dissolution of identity, of increasing psychological tensions and mental drifts, exacerbated by isolation and the constant proximity of the sublime destroyer. The metallic shell reflects light like a burning mirror, and every corner of the ship becomes a projection surface for the crew's neuroses. The ship here is the expression of an unbearable absolute, an inner combustion space where science meets the sacred. High Life by Claire Denis, a Franco-British science fiction film released in 2018, offers a raw, disenchanted version of life in enclosed space. The story follows a group of prisoners sent on a mission in a ship towards a black hole, as part of a scientific experiment on human reproduction under extreme conditions. The ship, grimy, functional, indifferent, becomes the bare setting for moral, psychic, and social erosion. Space fades away in favor of ethical space. What is a dignified life in oblivion? The visual beauty contrasts sharply with the brutality of interactions. The ship is not there to save, but to observe, or even to abandon.
Oh. Tada. We're waste. Refuges that did not fit into the system. So, someone had the idea to recycle us, sure of science.
The odds are not good, but when my work is done, when perfection is achieved, then what? There.
Tata. Oh, I know. I look like a witch. You're Foxy, and you know it.
This mission cannot transform it into humility or something glorious. I can't do that while flying around them.
Alita. You knew it. The feeling of moving backwards. Even if we're moving forward and going further away from what is near.
Nothing to fear. Everything can be finished.
Do you remember? You realize that nothing will ever grow inside us?
I will destroy the laws of nature. And you will pay for it.
Finally, Passengers by Morton Tildum offers a dystopian vision of the luxury space home through the Avalon ship, carrying thousands of hibernating settlers to a distant exoplanet. When one of the passengers, Jim Preston, is accidentally awakened 90 years too early, the setting shifts. The space, initially designed as a luxurious technological haven, becomes a universe of extreme solitude. The impeccable facilities, the empty restaurants, the pool suspended in the void of space, all become unbearably silent. The ship, designed for collective comfort, transforms into a labyrinth of individual frustration. The emptiness does not come from outer space, but from the overflow of perfection. It is the hyper-functionality itself that makes the space unlivable. The ship, envisioned as a floating paradise, paradoxically becomes inhuman as soon as it is experienced alone, highlighting the real challenges of interstellar colonization in terms of space engineering and managing extreme human conditions. This journey through different mediums shows that the spaceship in contemporary science fiction increasingly functions as a revealer. It puts human ambitions and their consequences in tension. It is a surface for projection, an echo chamber, sometimes even an actor. It is the home of an exiled humanity, fragile, often blind to its own mechanisms. A home that, in the interstellar void, cannot hide its internal cracks for long. So goodbye. See you soon, and don't forget science fiction. It's a trap.